Hey, Java Absolute Beginners. Let me continue with this exercise here. With this chapter here. Right now I'm about to jump onto exercise 4.2, random points on a circle. Write a program that generates 3 random points on a circle centered at 0, 0 with the radius 40 and display their angle in a triangle formed by these 3 points as shown in these figures. Again, I made a mistake here. That is not what I meant. Okay, as shown in these figures below. Okay, so hint, you gotta generate a random angle A in radians between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, again, that's supposed to be pi, not p, as shown in figure B. Okay, and the point determined by this angle is given as that. Okay, that's enough. Gotta write a program that generates 3 random points on a circle centered at the origin with radius 40 and display their angles in a triangle formed by these 3 points as shown. Okay, let me not waste much of your time, you guys. Let's do that. Final double can go int radius equals to 40. Again, guys, I'm only gonna give out a single solution on this problem, so I'll simply go generate random angle 4.1. So I'll simply go random angle is given by math.radians. Okay, again, this angle here is in degrees, so we're gonna have to get a random number between 0 and 360. Random number between 0 and 360. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, right? Once I'm done doing that, again, this is not the best way of doing things. I'm gonna have to compute x and y for the 4.1 using the generated angle. Okay, now go double x1 radius. We are told the formula is r cos a, right? So it's gonna be r math dot cos. I'll pass it y, what, random angle. Okay, because these trigonomic functions, they use radians, angles in radian, right? So now let me compute y. the y value. Okay, the only thing that I would have to change is that from sine to cos. Once I'm done doing that, you see, there's something, guys, that I wanna mention here, and it's for you to figure it out. That right there will give us a random number between 0 and 360, excluding 360. So now my question is, what would you have to do in order to include that 360 over there? Okay, that's for you to figure out. Luckily, it's not a must for us because we are getting random angles. It's not like we're required to get an angle, a point whose angle is 360. And another thing you should understand, the angle 360 is the same as angle 0, right? Like the results of cos 0 and cos 360 are the same. Cos 0 and cos 360 are the same, and the results of sine 0 and sine 360 are the same. In fact, I'm telling you the answer now, meaning there's absolutely no need for us the one border including the 360 there, because it's already included there. I mean, its role is already played by the value 0. Again, I don't want to create too much confusion. Okay, let me continue. So that right there will take care of my first. That right there will take care of my first number point. I mean, now that I want my second point, I would have to again randomly generate an angle for point 2 now. I'll put a 2 there. Not 3, a 2. Damn, really? Same thing applies for my third point. Gotta replace those 2 with a 3. Okay. Now I've got 3 angles and they are corresponding XY values. So what is left for me to do? Let's get back to what is required of us. We've got to write a program that generates 3 random points. Now we do have points on a circle centered at 0, 0, which is the origin. We've got to, with the radius 40, and display 3 angles in a triangle formed by these 3 points. Okay, that tells us that the next thing for us to do will be to calculate a distance from one point to all the others. Okay, so let's calculate the distance between P2 and P3 first. P2 and P3. Again, if you check out our figure, the first one here, the leftmost one, you will see that all these points are connected by some lines. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to compute the distance for those lines. So I'll go distance 2, 3. 2, 3, meaning the distance of from point 2 to point 3. Again, people, I hope people, they do know this, the distance formula. It simply goes the distance between x1 yy and x2 y2 is the square root, is nothing else but the square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Again, that's math, you guys, which is something that this tutorial is not about. So I'll simply go math dot pow, and right there I'll go x2 minus x1, not x2. Here we're dealing with x2 and x3, so it's gonna be x2 and x3, and then we simply put a squared over there. Doesn't matter what order we use there, we can go x2 minus x3 and or x3 minus x2. Either way, you're gonna gain the same results because we're gonna square the final results. Okay, now that I've got that, I'm gonna add let me copy that. However, this time we're using let me try to go to the next line. I'll go y2 y3. Okay, of course I need to include a closing brackets. That should take care of that. Now we know the distance between point 1 and point 2. Now what else do we want to do? Let's compute now the distance between point 1 and point 2. What I'll simply do is to replace a to the point 1 and point 2. So I'll simply replace a 3 with a 1 on that formula there. Okay, and then lastly I need to compute a distance between point 1 and point 3. Point 1 and 3. Here I'm computing the distance between, okay, up there it's a distance between point 1 and point 2, and at the bottom it's a distance between point 1 and point 3. So I'll simply put a 3 there and then replace those 2 with a 3. Now we've got the distance of all these 3 lines in figure A. Okay, question is now, how do we go about getting their angles? In order to do that, you guys, you're gonna have to understand the cosine formula, and if you don't, I'm afraid, again, this is no math class, this is programming class. You're gonna have to sit down with a pen and the paper and try to understand how does the cosine rule works when it comes to trigonometry. Okay, so I'm assuming people do know that. However, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna put it down. So the formula goes, the cosine formula looks as follows. So a squared, all small letters, you guys, are nothing else but a side. It could be the distance between point 1 to point 2, or the distance between point 1 to point 3, or maybe the distance between point 2 and point 3. So here a squared is given by b squared, again another side, we're squaring a side here, b squared plus c squared I want people to note that these small letters, I want people to know that these small letters, they refer to our sides. So far I'm talking about the first side, the second side, and then the third side. I'm squaring each one of them. And then finally I'll go minus 2 BC cos what? Cos A. Again, I want people to note that the A there is a capital letter. They are different things. That A over there and this one over here. Okay, Again, this is not math class, guys. I don't want to go deeper with the cosine rule. Okay. So A is equals to the distance between 2 and 3, and B is equals to the distance between what? Between, it's entirely up to you guys how you wanna do this. I'll go it's between 1 and 3, and then finally C will be a distance between 1 and 2. Remember, we already got all these values, right? Distance 1, 2, distance 1, 3, distance 2, 3. Okay. Once I'm done doing that, basically the question here is, how can we find this value of A, the capital letter 1, given the values of A, small letter B, small letter C? Again, that's nothing else but simple mathematics. We can make capital letter the subject of the formula by doing arc cos is gonna be equals to A squared it's A squared minus B squared. We're taking, it's gonna be A squared minus B squared minus C squared. Basically, we're taking those, we're taking them to the other side of the equal sign, so they're gonna become negative. So C minus C squared. Okay, again, this is simple math, you guys. I'm gonna divide the whole thing by 2BC, right? I'm gonna divide the whole thing by 2BC. So I'll go divide by 2, multiply by B, multiply by C. Perhaps there's no need for me to put those multiplication signs there, at least for now. Okay, that should be pretty much it, you guys. Oh, our 2 is negative. There's a negative sign there. Once we're done doing that, that should be pretty much it, you guys. Again, the idea is the same if you're looking for B, another angle, right? So you'll simply go, there's gonna be a little bit of a change, so it's gonna be B squared and do, oh, you know what, let me, for those who don't know this formula, maybe it'll be less confusing if I try to follow a pattern of some sort. So there it's gonna be AC instead of BC. Now finally, as for the third angle, that's what we do. We're gonna make that a C, and then that one an A, and then an A there again. This is basically what is required of us. Now what's left for us to do is to program these 3 formulas, is to display them. Okay, now the question is how. And that is gonna be the core of this. That is actually the core of this tutorial. So, point 1 angle will be given as follows. Basically, I'm writing that equation, you guys, programmatically. So I'll go math.arc cos of this portion I'll then put that. Okay, now it's time for me to replace a with the corresponding variable. I said a is what? Is 2, 3. So a is 2, 3. Oh, however, because it's a squared, I can go a 2, 3 multiplied by 2, 3. Okay, or I can use the math.pow function, which all of you guys know. I assume we've been using it. We did use it in the we're using it right here, right? So I'm assuming people know what the heck am I talking about. Now let's replace a b with the corresponding variable. I said b is distance 1, 3. The distance between 2 points. So b squared is gonna be the distance between point 1 and point 3 multiplied by the distance between point 1 and point 3. As for my c is nothing else but the distance between point 1 and point 2. Okay, so if I want to square those, I'm gonna have to do that. I'll have to multiply those. Okay, again, it's better I put things within brackets. Oh, I said distance b is the distance between point number 1 and point number 3. I also said the distance c is the distance between point number 1 and point number 2. It seems like our solution, you guys, has reached the end. No, it haven't, to be honest. Now let me go. I need to do the same thing for point 2. For angle 2, I mean point 2 angle. Again, I'm following what? That up there. Okay. The very first thing for me to do will be to go math.arccos, and then I'll put the whole thing. Oops, not that one. The one at the bottom. I'm gonna put it right there in place of a. Perhaps I should do the same for my last angle. Point 3 angle. I'll go math.arccos and then replace that a over there with that right there. Okay, now let me start. I'm replacing b with the distance. B is nothing else but the distance between point 1 and point. Math.pow, then I'll put a 2 over there. Okay, let me go to the next line. Now a is nothing else but the distance between point 2 and point 3. So I'll go okay, math.pow. I'm gonna put that over there and then put a 2 over there. Met.pow. You see, this thing is equivalent to distance 2-3 multiplied by distance 2-3. I just thought I should do it differently this time around. Now, as for c squared, I'll go, what is my c? C is the distance between the first and the second point. So I'll do that, then put a 2. Again, it's a good idea to put these things inside brackets, because this is a complex expression. Okay, so what is my c? I need to put those multiplication signs there. So what is a? Again, a is that. Again, in case you have pointed out some errors, you guys, feel free to let me know, rather than spreading rumors that I'm giving out people incorrect solutions. Okay, now what is my c? C is what? Let me scroll up. C is 1, 2, distance 1, 2. I'm gonna copy that. So c squared is that must c squared right there. As for my b squared, where is it? B squared is distance 1, 3 times distance 1, 3. Okay, let me copy that, paste it again. This has been a long heck of a video, you guys, I know. So now a is distance 2, 3. Where is distance 2, 3? I can use that. Distance 2, 3. Now time for me to deal with that denominator there. Again, what is my b? B is distance what? B is distance 1, 3. You see, you guys, the only way you can have a well understanding of what I'm doing here is by understanding the cosine formula. Without that, you guys, I'm afraid there's nothing much you can do. Now, where is my a? There is it right there. Okay. That's the last of it, you guys. Oh, now the next thing for me to do is to simply display the results. That's all, nothing more. So I'll simply use a printf statement. System.out.printf. So I'll simply go what? First point angle. First point angle. Percentage 3. Let me go 3 spaces. How many numbers do I want after a comma? Let me go 2 and then F. Right? And then I go to the next line. Simply go second point angle. is given as let me go to the next line, you guys, so that everybody can see what's going on. Second point angle is gonna be given by that. Now finally, that point angle is given by that. Okay, now what I want to do is to simply put point one angle, point two angle. I know probably by now you've heard enough, you guys, but there are no shortcuts when it comes to programming. Okay, you know what, you guys, let me check out my solution first before I hit the run button. But I hope things are okay, and if they are not, I'm gonna let you know. Okay guys, let me hit the run button. Everything works out fine, but there's something I want you to know, and thanks God I did things up to this point. I didn't continue because there's something I want you guys to know about our output. You see, if we hit our run button, you see the numbers we get are those tiny ones, right? And that is because our output is actually in radians. You see, whatever value that variable holds is a degree in radians. So if we want to convert it to degrees, if we want an angle between 0 and 30 and 160, we're gonna have to convert all our answers to degrees. Okay, and then finally I need to do the very same thing for that. Now let's see what we can get. See, now we get humongous numbers such as 163.71 degrees. Again, if you get some number greater than 360, I'm not sure if that's possible, but I mean, in general, you can get a number greater than 360 as your angle. However, you can always mod it by 360 in order to get some number between 0 and 360. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this tutorial, you guys. You know, I would super appreciate you let me know what you think of it. Reason being, there's a lot that we had to go through here, you guys. Of course, it's not a long program, but there are a lot of things that we did play around with. So that's gonna be it for this tutorial, you guys. Cheers, I'm gone.